What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and for your tournament life, I am offering you these 10 commandments of mine. That's 10. And if you can follow these, they will make your tournament life better, more successful, etc. I mean, you're not going to win every event you ever go into, but that's part of the game. So, enough said of that. Let's get to it. My first commandment I offer unto you, thou shalt remember that it is a game and have fun. This is one of the most important ones. That's probably why it's number 1. Exactly what it sounds like. If you can enjoy the game as a game and not get super caught up in it, you will prevent yourself, well, a lot of misery. The second commandment, also a very important one, thou shalt not be a jerk. We've all encountered these people. They make the game less fun. Cheating, stealing, making others feel bad, fast playing, slow playing. Just kind of ask yourself, are people going to leave this place, or are you going to leave this place in better or worse condition for doing this thing? Oh, also, personal hygiene. That's not most of us, but a few of us, you know who you are. Shower. I don't care how tired you are. Shower before the event. Thank you. Moving on. This my third commandment I offer to you. Thou shalt practice and know thy own deck. Play your deck. Don't just throw something together you don't know much about the night before. I mean, you can build something the night before if you've played that deck or something very similar before and have an understanding of its workings. But if you don't know how the deck works, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to lead to you losing games you could otherwise have won. So, yeah, this is why practice is important. Play your friends. Play online. Not much excuse for missing this one. This one will net you probably at least an extra 2 games at every major tournament you play at with like 8 or more rounds, just by practicing your deck. Even a very good player needs to practice a deck to learn its particular ins and outs. Which brings us also to our fourth commandment. Thou shalt know thy meta. That is, know the other decks that are out there and being played commonly right now. If you practice your own deck, use it in conjunction with this. Know how it works with other decks. This will give you a big advantage. Knowing how their deck works, their strengths, their weaknesses, how it interacts with your deck, this gives you advantages, and once again will deliver you games that you otherwise probably would have lost. This helps you formulate strategies. That's why this is important. My fifth commandment, a very important one. Honor thy judges and event staff. Yes, sometimes the events are not running super smoothly, but you know the reason they're running at all? Because of these people. And usually they're not running smoothly, not because of the judges or the tournament organizers or anything like that. It's because of some player or players who are doing something, well, stupid, that they shouldn't have done otherwise. And your judges and event staff are trying to calmly and nicely figure out what the heck they did. And also, you don't want to make these people mad, because even though they're supposed to be impartial, if they think you're a jerk, they're going to suspect you're probably doing something wrong. So you'd like them to like you. It just makes sense. Plus, these people are giving up a weekend they could have been playing and hanging out with their friends to work really hard. This is their spare time from their, job and school. Be nice to these people. They're sacrificing here. And if you've ever been one of these people, you know exactly how hard this is. So, yeah, please, honor these people. They kick their own butts for you. The least you can do is be nice to them. Alright, number 6. Thou shalt be on time to thy events. Okay, yeah, I'm sounding a little judgy here, but this is one of the biggest pains in the butt. You know, you kick your own butt, you get a 30-minute lunch, you're trying to eat just as fast as you can, you choke down half a sandwich, you race to the tournament venue, you get there just in time, and end up sitting and waiting as your opponent doesn't show for the first 3 minutes, gets a game loss, and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then right before they should get their match loss for not freaking showing up, and you're already sitting there going, why did I bother to go through my sandwich so fast? I could have dragged my feet. Then they show up at the last second like it's no big deal. That makes your day a little worse. Let's be honest. It's going to make you mad, and that's not making anybody's day better. Show a little respect to your opponent and be on time. And besides, if you show up late, you could take game losses or even get DQ'd by the judges, and that's not good for you. So just show up on time. It'll make everybody's day better. And it'll make the tournament faster. So if you ever complain about tournaments being slow, and you're not obeying the 6th commandment, that means you're part of the problem. The 7th commandment. Also an important one. Thou shalt not underestimate nor overestimate thy opponent. Yeah, I know it sounds like I'm kind of hitting you both ways on this one, but this is important. Never think your opponent's going to be a wuss because they seem inexperienced, because whether they are deceptively experienced or inexperienced and just lucky, if you make play errors because you're not really taking your opponent seriously, you can end up losing. And you know, even if your opponent isn't that great compared to you, which is probably just you having a big ego, even if that is true, you know it's really embarrassing? Losing to a player who you don't think is as good as yourself. That's pretty embarrassing. And overestimation, that just means if you sit down across from somebody who has a name, you know, they're one of the pro players, and you sit down across from them and you're Johnny Nobody, don't let them intimidate you. Everyone is just a person. You go in with the same chances, you're playing the same format, the same cards more or less, or at least you have the same options for the same cards, and this person is beatable. And so are you. Everybody is. That's the point. Everyone has a fair and even chance. Just keep a cool head, and you'll have a much better chance of doing really well. And besides, even if your opponent is really good and maybe more experienced than you, the best games are the ones with the best opponents. So, it's actually an awesomely lucky thing to play against a pro player, not an unlucky thing. So, treat it as such, and you'll be more successful. The 8th commandment. This is another one of those annoyance things, just like being on time. Thou shalt bring all thy own supplies. Nothing is worse than somebody who comes, sits down across from you and is like, can I borrow a die? Can I borrow damage counters? Can I borrow something to keep track of my life points? That's annoying. It just says you're not taking things seriously, and you figure you can just use your opponent or take advantage of them to do what you should have done yourself. You know, maybe they don't want you touching on all their stuff. Okay, yeah, it's nice to share, but you know what's also nice? To take care of your own business and not let other people take care of it for you. So you know what? Bring your own stuff. It's just nice. And this, my 9th commandment unto you, also an important one, thou shalt be gracious in both defeat and victory alike. You know, if you lose, you know, maybe luck had something to do with it. Maybe your opponent outplayed you and you feel like it was unfair somehow. Who knows? Point being, you know, just take it. Everybody's going to lose sometimes, even if it is something you think is unfair, it was a random thing, it was a coin toss, whatever. You know what? At least be nice to them. They did end up winning, and nobody likes a sore loser anyway. And when it comes to victory, well, nothing's worse than somebody who brags about it as being a really rotten sport. Nobody's going to like you more for that, and nobody's going to think you're a great player for that. Most of the best players have some of the kindest attitudes. So if you're exhibiting a bad attitude, it's usually a sign of a weaker player. So if you win with a bad attitude, people may just think you're the one who got lucky. And this, my 10th commandment, is a very important one to understand. Thou shalt not give up. This isn't the same as conceding a game, but giving up just means at any time, even if you keep playing, where you basically tell yourself, you know what, I can't do this, or, well, I lost. The only time it's okay to concede, basically, is when literally every single outcome is completely determined and both you and your opponent know 100% it's done. Not just, well, I can't possibly come back from this setback. That's not really the same thing. And if there's any possibility, even a remote one, you can still win, thou shalt not give up. Now, if you know 100% there's no way to win, don't stall your opponent out for 5 or 10 minutes just to be a jerk. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this G-rated here. But use some common sense and always give yourself the benefit of the doubt. And when you're not sure, keep playing. I see people throw away games all the time just because they're pretty sure they can't win, but they haven't even put all the thought into it. And people around them are sitting there shaking their heads because they can see it. Usually just looking at your opponent sometimes can tell you if you really have no chance, or if your opponent knows if you have no chance. So keep this one in mind. This usually loses people as many as 1 or 2 matches in a big tournament sometimes because they're not giving themselves the credit they deserve. Keep playing. Even if you know your opponent can win, maybe they don't. And even a very experienced player can sometimes miss things like that. So always give yourself the benefit of the doubt and play it out. All right, and those are my 10 commandments of gaming. Follow these in your next event, and I say you should do better. Like I say, it's not a guarantee of victory, but it should help you do better. And at the very least, it should help you have a more fun day. So anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check me out for more gaming content.